father's public speaking is before scientific audiences. Addresses people in spectrographic issues at seminars at Pittsburgh or things like that. Okay, so he's going to do all the voices. I'm doing the narration. Chapter 2 of The House at Pooh Corner, in which Tigger comes to the forest and has breakfast. Winnie the Pooh woke up suddenly in the middle of the night and listened. Then he got out of bed and lit his candle and stumped across the room to see if anybody was trying to get into his honey cupboard, but they weren't, so he stumped back again, blew out his candle and got into bed. Then he heard the noise again.
"Is that you, Piglet?"
he said, but it wasn't.
"Come in, Christopher Robin,"
he said, but Christopher Robin didn't.
"Tell me about it tomorrow," he ordered.
Said Pooh sleepily, but the noise went on. Well, it looks to me more like wara, 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 but what the hell. Said whatever it was, and Pooh found that he wasn't asleep after all.
What can it be?
He thought.
There are lots of noises in the forest, but this is a different one. It isn't a growl, and it isn't a purr, and it isn't a bark, and it isn't the noise you make before beginning a piece of poetry. But it's a noise of some kind, made by a strange animal. He's making it outside my door. So I shall go and ask him not to do it.
He got out of bed and opened his front door.
"Hello," said Pooh.
In case there was anything outside.
"Hello,"
Said whatever it was.
"Oh," said Pooh. "Hello." "Hello." "Oh, there you are."
Said Pooh.
"Hello." "Hello."
Said the strange animal, wondering how long this was going on. Pooh was just going to say hello for the 4th time when he thought that he wouldn't, so he said,
"Who is it?"
instead.
"Me."
Said a voice.
"Oh."
Said Pooh.
"Well, come here."
So whatever it was came here, and in the light of the candle, he and Pooh looked at each other.
"I'm Pooh." "I'm Tigger."
Said Tigger.
"Oh."
Said Pooh, for he had never seen an animal like this before.
"Does Christopher Robin know about you?" "Of course he does."
Said Tigger.
"Well,"
Said Pooh.
"it's the middle of the night, which is a good time for going to sleep. And tomorrow morning we'll have some honey for breakfast. The Tiggers like honey. They like everything."
Said Tigger cheerfully.
"But if they like going to sleep on the floor, I'll go back to bed.
Said Pooh.
And we'll do things in the morning. Good night."
And he got back into bed and went fast asleep. When he awoke in the morning, the first thing he saw was Tigger sitting in front of the glass and looking at himself.
"Hello."
Said Pooh.
"Hello.
Said Tigger.
I found something just like me. I thought I was the only one of them."
Pooh got out of bed and began to explain what a looking glass was, and just as he was getting to the interesting part, Tigger said,
"Excuse me a moment, but there's something climbing up your table."
and with one loud war, 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 he jumped at the end of the tablecloth, pulled it to the ground, wrapped himself up in it 3 times, rolled to the other end of the room, and after a terrible struggle, got his head into the daylight again and said cheerfully,
"Have I won? That's my tablecloth."
said Pooh as he began to unwind Tigger.
"I wondered what it was."
Said Tigger.
"It goes on the table and you put things on it." "Then why did it try to bite me when I wasn't looking?" "I don't think it did."
Said Pooh.
"It tried,"
Said Tigger.
"but I was too quick for it."
Pooh put the cloth back on the table and he put a large honey pot in the cloth and they sat down to breakfast. And as soon as they sat down, Tigger took a large mouthful of honey and he looked up at the ceiling with his head on one side and made exploring noises with his tongue and considering noises and what have we got here noises. And then he said in a very decided voice,
"Tiggers don't like honey." "Oh,"
said Pooh, and tried to make it sound sad and regretful.
"I thought they liked everything." "Everything except honey,"
Said Tigger. Pooh felt rather pleased about this and said that as soon as he had finished his own breakfast, he would take Tigger round to Piglet's house and Tigger could try some of Piglet's acorns.
Thank you, Pooh,
Said Tigger.
because acorns is really what Tiggers like best.
So after breakfast, they went around to see Piglet, and Pooh explained as they went, but the Piglet was a very small animal who didn't like bouncing and asked Tigger not to be too bouncy just at first. And Tigger, who had been hiding behind trees and jumping out of Pooh's shadow when he wasn't looking, said that Tiggers were only bouncy before breakfast, and as soon as they had had a few acorns, they became quiet and refined. So by and by, they knocked at the door of Piglet's house.
Hello, Piglet.
Hello, Pooh,
Hello, Pooh.
said Piglet.
Hello, Piglet. This is Tigger. Oh, is it?
Said Piglet, and he edged around to the other side of the table.
I thought Tiggers were smaller than that. Not the big ones.
Said Tigger.
They like acorns,
Said Pooh.
so that's what we've come for. Because poor Tigger hasn't had any breakfast yet.
Piglet pushed the bowl of acorns toward Tigger and said,
Help yourself.
and then he got close up to Pooh and felt much braver and said,
So you're Tigger. Well, well.
in a careless sort of voice. But Tigger said nothing because his mouth was full of acorns. After a long munching noise, he said, and when Pooh and Piglet said,
What?
he said,
This is Boozy.
and went outside for a moment. When he came back, he said firmly,
Tiggers don't like acorns. But you said they like everything except honey.
said Pooh.
Everything except honey and acorns.
Explained Tigger. When he heard this, Pooh said,
Oh, I see.
and Piglet, who was rather glad that Tiggers didn't like acorns, said,
What about thistles? Thistles
said Tigger.
is what Tiggers like best. Then let's go along and see Eeyore, said Tigger.
So the three of them went, and after they had walked and walked and walked, they came to the part of the forest where Eeyore was.
Hello, Eeyore.
Said Pooh.
This is Tigger. What is?
Said Eeyore.
This is.
Explained Pooh and Piglet together, and Tigger smiled his happiest smile and said nothing. Eeyore walked all around Tigger one way, and then turned and walked all around him the other way.
What did you say it was?
He asked.
Tigger. Ah,
Said Eeyore.
he's just come.
Explained Piglet.
Ah,
Said Eeyore again. He thought for a long time, and then said,
when is he going?
Pooh explained to Eeyore that Tigger was a great friend of Christopher Robin's, who had come to stay in the forest, and Piglet explained to Tigger that he mustn't mind what Eeyore said because he was always gloomy. And Eeyore explained to Piglet that, on the contrary, he was feeling particularly cheerful this morning, and Tigger explained to anybody who was listening that he hadn't had any breakfast yet.
I knew there was something, said
Pooh.
Tiggers always eat thistles, so that was why they came to see you here. Don't mention it, Pooh. Oh, Eeyore, I didn't mean that I didn't want to see you. Quite. But your new stripy friend, naturally he wants his breakfast. What did you say his name was? Tigger. Then come this way, Tigger.
Eeyore led the way to the most thistly-looking patch of thistles that ever was, and waved a hoof at it.
A little patch I was keeping for my birthdays.
He said,
But after all, what are birthdays? Here today and gone tomorrow. Help yourself, Tigger.
Tigger thanked him and looked a little anxiously at Pooh.
Are these really thistles?
He whispered.
Yes,
Said Pooh.
what Tiggers like best? That's right,
Said Pooh.
I see.
Said Tigger. So he took a large mouthful and he gave a large crunch.
Ow!
Said Tigger. He sat down and put a paw in his mouth.
What's the matter?
Asked Pooh.
Hot!
Mumbled Tigger.